The departure of some cabinet members has undoubtedly created a vacuum that should be filled, that would be carried without delay, so that the business of governance will not suffer.
President Muhammadu Buhari at that Senford meeting in Abuja. Well, one of the ministers had actually resigned before the directive of President Buhari, and that minister is our guest tonight on the program. My guest hold a PhD in law and was called into the Nigerian bar about 1989. He resigned his role as a Minister of State for Education. Before then, he had served as a chairman of the TEDFund Board of Trustees. Mr. Emeka Nwajoba contested for Imo governorship on the platform of the All People's Party in 2003, 2007, and 2011. He was elected as a member of the House of Representatives in 1999 to 2003. He was then re-elected into the House of Reps in 2019 under the Accord Party, but was appointed by President Buhari as minister that same year. The former Minister of State for Education, Mr. Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, joins me live in our Abuja studio right here. Thank you so much. Honorable former Minister, that's the way to describe you at this moment. And a lot of us have always called you Emeka, but you prefer to be called a Chukwuemeka. Is there a reason behind that?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, viewers, and thank you, Shehu. Chukwuemeka actually is the full name.
Oh, yeah.
Emeka is like a guy name for friends. And at a serious level, most people should say Chukwuemeka because that's what the name is like. Olusegun.
It carries the meaning.
It conveys the meaning.
Chukwu is God.
Chukwu is God.
Emeka is what?
Emeka is what he has done.
So we're learning some Igbo tonight on the program. So let's get into the meat of the matter. You took the decision to resign as a Minister of State for Education even before President Buhari had ordered those who have political ambition to do so. What prompted that decision?
Well, as soon as you come into public office, the first thing you do is read the oath of allegiance to the Federal Republic. In your taking the oath, one of the things you ascribe to is to make sure that at no point would your engagements counter the objectives of state, so that if there is going to be any conflict between your role as a person and your role in your conduct of your official engagement, you try to disengage. So as soon as I made up my mind that the contestation for the presidency of Nigeria in 2023, under the platform of my party, the All Progressives Congress, had become something that needs to be pursued. It became clear that we need to determine what the requirements were. And the party published its guidelines. And the guidelines at Article 3L did state clearly that anybody, any public appointee, not just officer or anything, it says in the words of the party's guideline, says that any appointee whatsoever who wanted to pursue any position would need to leave office 30 days ahead of the date of the engagement. Well, I tried to see where they got the powers, because every political power has the powers to make its own guidelines, and it's derived from his constitution. Because actually, in the constitution of the APC, it did state in Article 37 about anybody who is occupying an office within the party who seeks to pursue any elective office or even another office within the party to leave that particular office in 30 days ahead of that election or a national election. So they may have extrapolated it to expand it to include public officers. So while the thoughts around at Section 84, subsection 12 of the current 2022 Electoral Act were still subsisting, and some of the challenges were still also continuing in court, the guidelines of the party have become a guide that anybody who reads it alongside the Constitution and alongside his oath of office would then need to come to the necessary conclusion that as soon as possible. As soon as it was feasible for you, you would need to leave office.
That's your own premise.
That's exactly is a
the
guideline.
concern of the APC was you were not even looking at the Electoral Act as
No.
Because there are other contentions within the Electoral Act.
There's a moral position around your understanding of your role as a minister.
Is it more of the moral or more of a legal?
You need to be morally legal.
No, I mean, because in law, I'm not sure of how much of morality that the courtrooms will.
I'm not sure anybody is going to sue you.
The legality of it, perhaps is one major issue for you, isn't it?
Nobody will sue you for morality. But the oath of office actually says that at any time when you come in conflict with your public work, as different from what is your personal view, then you need to make that distance. And that distance has then exacerbated by the provision of Article 3L of the guidelines, which at Article 3 sub M also then goes ahead to say that if you do not comply with this, the party states clearly you will be disqualified. It's into automatic disqualification. It has nothing to do, there's no contest around it.
So for those who are confusing things, perhaps those who are confused about the legality of this whole matter, whether you're a political appointee or a public officer and the need to resign before the primary, even your party has clearly stated, not considering, your party actually disqualifies by its own constitution anyone who is in cabinet and is not resigning.
Yes, so that's what the guidelines say.
So the big question here is that anyone sitting in the federal cabinet and is running for office is at the risk of jeopardizing the chances of the party, is it?
Yes. In short terms, yes. Because truly, even if you were to win, because if you're actually in any way disqualified or in any of the requirements of a political party, any political party, and you go ahead to go and win an election, anybody, any Nigerian who knows that ground of disqualification can at any time, during the pendency or otherwise of your tenure, can seek to point out to an adjudicating authority that person is disqualified by his even political party. So even political parties are taking a big risk, even in investing their ticket in anybody who may have something to disqualify him, whether from the Electoral Act or from the guideline or the non-compliance with all his own rules, which is why political parties also need to be careful in making rules so that they are, because the Supreme Court will compel you to obey your own rules.
But, these are bodies of laws in our country, but the ground norm, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a father of them all. And the Constitution has said in Chapter 1 clearly that where there is any conflict, to the extent of that conflict or they are inconsistent, that those other bodies of laws become subservient to the Nigerian Constitution. The Constitution becomes preeminent over those laws. So those who argue that the Constitution has stated clearly, no matter what any other law, legislation, or any bylaw or any laws of any political party says, the Constitution, the Exxon law has said, look, it is 1 month or 30 days before the general election.
Okay, Shehu, I think anybody can make any sort of argument, but my basic premise is that I'm seeking to run for possibly the highest office there is in the country. And my first dedication will be to ensure a society that is based on the rule of law. And if you do not have a complete grasp of the entire government that constitutes rules and have the efficacy to and the moral capacity to obey them, it may be very difficult if you have to find how you can actually come to run a society like ours.
So instead of running in the dark and the risk of running into potholes, you don't want to take chances.
I don't think our political parties or ourselves can afford to make those kind of conjecture around something as prima donna as this. This is simply
as a doctor of law, you are giving your party an unpaid legal advice at this moment, isn't it?
It's our party. We all lost it. I was the secretary of the of the drafting. I prepared this constitution, so I understand.
So you understand and you know all this.
I don't know everything. I'm just saying I prepared this work. Because the leaders of our team, our great leaders, Asiwaju, the president, everybody and all the governors at the time, Amosu, Jibobi, all the governors who invested, all of them that invested their time in trying to drive this process in 2013. They left it to us to draft the Constitution. When we set out this Constitution, what we thought to do was to set a ground that will be almost unassailable, and that is why we took a PDP out in 2015. It's the first time. Because there are key nuances within the body of this law that provides things that were never and had never been seen in any political party constitution before its time, such that it became extremely grassroots-based and could gather all politicians and made provisions and allowances for every hue and cry of the society, because we wanted to assemble a Congress. We didn't want just a political party, we wanted a Congress. It became congressional. And in its nature, of all types of progressives, you see, because we came from the Congress for Progressive Change. There was also Action Congress. It's all kinds of different shades of progressives, those who were liberals, those who were different shades of Congress. So we decided that we need to have a Congress that will accommodate all shades of progressives. That's how come we are all progressives Congress.
Okay. When did you resign?
28th April.
It was made public 4 days ago.
Well, that's the
less than a week ago.
Oh, that's the prerogative of Mr. President. I'm not resigning to Sheung, so it's not really Sheung's problem, because if you're hired by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because the Federal Republic of Nigeria pays me, and then it is important to meet with our president and explain to him why I am resigning. It's not enough to throw him a letter. I don't think it would be proper. So I went to explain, because I had received my forms on the 27th. Because when it took about 10, 20 days from the time when what we call the Project Nigeria Foundation. The Project Nigeria Foundation invited nearly 200,000 young people around the country to set up this 500 to 5,000 naira contribution, 500,000 naira contribution. And it took them a while to raise the 100 million, and then went to purchase the form on the 27th. And once we finished council on the 27th, I received it. And when I received the forms, it then became important that I go tell...
So April 28th to the time of the primary is going to be 1 month, 30 days, and you are able to fulfill...
Oh, that's 33 days already.
Very good. So let's talk about your ambition. Let's get into it. We've talked about all the legal issues surrounding the matter. Today in Nigeria, one of the issues that have aggravated many people's mind is a sad scenario that university students have to stay at home because university lecturers, ASU, and the federal government have not been able to reach an agreement on the way to meet the demands of the lecturers. It has caused untold sadness, putting uncertainty in the lives of these students and their parents. The question is, why is it difficult to resolve such an impasse? I'm asking you this question as someone who sat as the Minister of State for Education.
I appreciate the question. And truly speaking, I do apologize to Nigerian students. I apologize to them because as their minister, I would take responsibility. But also, on behalf of the federal government, also would more or less say, please understand what the issues are. I have 2 children. All my 4 children have passed through Nigerian universities. I still have 2 who are at home now eating food because they're all in public universities. I've always had public university. I come from a public university experience. Imo State University, Unilag, Unijust, all are public universities. So I don't have any problem with public universities. But you see, in the last 16 years, in the last 20 years, we've had nearly 16 strikes. So my position has not been, please, ASU is talking rubbish. No, this is not true. ASU has a case. They are not making even a case for themselves alone. ASU is making a case for the entire university system. And consistently, the Malam Adamu and myself, Malam Adamu was Minister of Education, and Malam Adamu, before he became Minister of Education, had always insisted that what we work with ASU, and we still work with ASU. The only point of departure amongst all of us is that we've asked ASU that strikes can't cure the problem. I mean, I am happy today that the National Council of Regional of NAREC has reached some sort of agreement with them to say, go back to class and let us resolve. As if they were speaking what I've been speaking about or saying in the last 3 years. We need you in class. We need our children back in school. It hurts parents. It hurts us. I'm like I keep saying, my own children are here. I don't have children in private universities. All my kids are here. The ones that have graduated from Futo and Osaka. So the lawyer and the engineer. So I know it hurts. The ones I have now, medical school and engineering, they're still in those universities. And I know how my wife and them are battling it at home. So I know how it hurts parents. So I say sorry. But the truth is that we think ASU may need to consider leaving the option of strike and work with government. The issues are not things that must be done in 1 hour. Needs assessment is an ongoing matter. End allowance is an ongoing matter. Whether you use a platform called IPs or you use UTAS is of no, let's just pay you. The issues are, this government has done more than any other government to meet us. The president has met with ASU one-on-one. In fact, ASU will refer to his meeting with them as part of the reason why they went to develop UTAS in the first place. Because we thought it would be a good idea to encourage local applications around. Now, if you've developed it and the country does not want to use it, it does not make it imperative on government that they must now use it because you developed it.
Because, I mean, Mr. Wajuba, the question here is the issue of ASU. And perhaps one question that is fundamental in the heart of a lot of Nigerians and the voters alike would be that this ASU problem is one of a plethora of problems facing this country. Yeah. And for someone who is demanding to lead this country, to hold the #1 seat, you'll be faced with a plethora of problems that you have to resolve as a leader of the country. It will confront you every day. The big question is, you're not able to resolve this one problem. How can they trust you with an office that will have the burden of having every day faced with plethora of problems?
Yeah, truth be told, Shehu, is that this problem precedes this administration.
But the Nigerians,
Nigerians don't care. Nigerians don't care.
What Nigerians care about is that their children are at home and they are not able to go to school.
I agree. We are going to resolve
the problem. You are not able to resolve the ASU problem.
We are resolving it.
How are you able to resolve the many problems of Nigeria?
We are going to resolve this. We're going to resolve this, and there are all the metrics for it to be resolved are already before Mr. President. Mr. President can approve a couple of different schemes. I have proposed, and the Minister of Education will continue discussing this with Mr. President, a new scheme in which universities have a different way of earning money to be able to care for them. And this is something I will implement if you give me your mandate to be president. And I know that even if it's not implemented now, the university's autonomy law need to be activated, because you see, there are only 50 of these federal universities and there are 200 others. However, these 50 alone are more than 75% of the number of students in the entire university structure, about 2.2 million of them. So it is important that we give them a funding structure. We need to bring a funding structure to the table, because this coming cap in hand to the federal government at all times cannot continue. It cannot continue, and it's not sustainable. So we need to arrive at something that is sustainable, and we've proposed that. And I'm sure Mr. President will be looking at it, and himself and the Minister of Education will be looking at it. There are, like you pointed out, Nigeria will have a plethora of problems. However you look at them, first things first would be to have a rule-based society, where there are consequences for actions and consequences for inactions, so that there is some sort of work towards making a Nigeria that works for everybody.
You know why a lot of people might be angry tonight is that Nigerians are seeking to go in search of education because of one of the issues is because of the incessant strike by lecturers, to the extent of going to Niger Republic, Ghana. As of 2020, about 100,000 Nigerian students are enrolled abroad. I mean, brain drain is a major problem in this country. And the question is, this keeps happening. The numbers keep jumping up every day.
I agree with you, but look, again, Nigeria is a country of 200 or plus million people. We have, people are angry, even ASU is angry that we are still licensing private universities, and why are we building more universities? And we're saying we still need to expand access because of the same figures, what you're just saying. In Ukraine alone, during at the commencement of this war, Nigeria has had to spend money to bring back students. So we know that Nigerians are going abroad everywhere, and we are expanding the access space. However, after access must be quality. And that is what ASU is about. ASU is trying to ensure that we have the right set of teachers and so on and so forth. And that's why I said the paradigm needs to shift towards how do they do that.
Well, what have you been able to do differently in the last 4 years or thereabout since you got into office?
Okay, yeah. This is why this conversation around ASU is not just all there is to it. There is a lot in the education space. Because before you assess quality of children, how did they come into the system? Some children are too weak to be up in the place. Why are universities expanding the number of people they take without commensurate number of lecturers? Why do we have this disparity? Some universities are seen as a social development organ. People want you to cite a university in their village.
Are you able to turn down the hands of that challenge that you're talking about now?
Sure. Like I said, what I
was
proposed,
it that can we pick as a major achievement in your own office in the area of education?
Three things. Immediately I joined the Ministry of Education in 2019. Something Nigeria has never heard. We now have NIN as your instrument to apply for JAMB. They said it can't work. We insisted because without NIN, we were getting children and numbers into the university system that was not accountable for. So we didn't know what we had.
So you have data now?
We got that. In 2019, they insisted it wouldn't work. But Professor Loede kept at it, and in fact, at a point, I resumed work at NMIC and Nigerian Commission for NIN, and we kept ensuring until 2020 it worked. By 2021, it became official. Now we've moved it over to WAEC, and we're going to, for NAPTEP. You see, the country needs to work in order, and that's what I've tried to establish in this 32 months that I've been minister, is to try to get the country in some sort of shape of order. Because without order, you're not running a society.
The education system is in shambles, isn't
it? That's why I said my first report had been to put it in order. Now I have all teachers registered, because you see, before I came into the ministry, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, and all of us in the education space, because I also was as chairman as TED Fund at the time, we had agreed that before you can teach in our classrooms, let's start where this problem is at, the root. You have to be registered with the Teachers Registration Council. You can't have quack teachers. We lost children in Delta a couple of months back because the school is not registered. That school is not registered. The teacher himself is not a teacher. We lost a child in Kano in a private school where a young girl, 6 years old, was kidnapped and killed. That teacher is not a registered teacher. The school is not a registered school. So you need to have an order-based society to produce the kind of manpower that you're talking about before you drain.
All right. So you jumped from about 5-point-something% to about 7-point-something. A lot of people have clapped at out of the 7 trillion budget, where the United Nations would say 15% of the annual budget should go into education. Nigeria just have less than half of that as a quota. And you're leaving a ministry which has a burden of over 10.5 million children out of school, which is the highest rate in the world. The figure indicates that 1/3 of Nigerian children are not in school, and 1 in 5 out of school children in the world is a Nigerian. Should you become president, how can you solve these very disturbing statistics?
Great. First things first, education is key to building any nation. I mean, if you need to be president of Nigeria, you need to start from Minister of Education to start with, because the key people in Nigeria are the human beings. the human capital. And so let me go back to what we have done. Because we met 15.6 million children out of school. Today we have less than 10 million. Because we then engaged the states. We've done $11 million to all the states in what we call the Better Education for All program, BESDA. Now, that has spread across the 17 states that are focal in this matter. But we've gone a bit beyond that, because when we met the situation it is in, as it is now, in 2019, by 2020 we were struck by COVID, and therefore we had to move to the cloud. We now started transmitting across board. We now, as at today, in collaboration with UNICEF, have launched what is called the Nigerian Learning Passport. In other words, you can actually educate anybody, anytime, anywhere, from any point, because there are now 52,000 videos of all the curriculum in Nigeria, from elementary 1 to class 12. The entire 12 years have been digitalized and raised as a little cloud. So you can access them from Karon Amoda, you can access them from Sagbama, anywhere you are. So, and repeat it as many times as it takes for that child to become conversant with the lesson. So we are bridging both access, in case you don't have access to knowledge. We're also bridging quality, because all the teachers who did the teaching are experts in that various field. So in case you don't have appropriate teachers in your local government or your divided world, you actually now have access to knowledge. And that is what we've transformed the education sector. Yeah.
We're due for a break, but when we come back, the political space has tried to decipher and read the minds of President Buhari, since he told China's television that the person whom he has that will succeed him he has a name close to his chest, and he's not going to divulge that information, because that person, they will go after such a person. We understand that you are very, very close to President Buhari. We'll find out whether or not you are the anointed candidate and how you hope to get the ticket of the APC. Stay with us, everyone. Plus, we will be joined at some point on the program by Alhaji Buba Galadima, and we shall be speaking with him on the state of the nation as Nigerians praise up for the 2023 elections. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Experience the opulence and security of Swiss Trade doors. With over 30 years experience, exclusive with a touch of history and craftsmanship. Swiss Trade doors are made from the finest ancient aga and ivory wood. A range of exclusive armored doors, elegant interior doors, carefully crafted by world-renowned architects and engineers. At Swiss Trade, a door is much more, plus premium quality onyx stones and luxury interiors. Visit Swiss Trade today or call now. Swiss Trade, blend of beauty and security.
My name is Moyo, and I work as an accountant at a small business in Lagos. My kids have a nickname for me, Iron Lady. They say I'm always so strict with money and finances. They like to spend, and I like to save. So imagine my surprise when I overheard my kids talking about investing and putting aside money. I joined in on the conversation, and they showed me the Bamboo app and their own portfolios. I was shocked. So I asked them to help me download and sign up. I was worried. I started investing a bit too late. But with Bamboo, I've learned it's never too late to start investing. My goal right now is to leave a very, very healthy portfolio for my children to inherit. Don't tell them I said that.
Of learning that gives your child unlimited access to amazing learning materials. It covers literacy, math, science, and indigenous languages like Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Ibibio, Tiv, Edo, and French. Don't forget that you also get a 1-month free subscription using the Imose Omotap 2 tablet. Download the TSAS app on Google Play Store and Apple Store today.
TSAS, Africa's Learning Gateway.
Yay, Fresh Show time!
The new Fresh Show. You're not driving?
I prefer to walk these days.
Since when? Auntie Blessing, I scored 2 goals yesterday.
You? Couch potato? Playing football now? Since when?
Cynthia's slow motion daughter dancing. Since when?
Cynthia, is everything okay? Your husband now prefers walking instead of driving?
Your son is playing football and your daughter is dancing energetically. Since when?
Since we started enjoying the new Freshio drinking yogurt.
New Freshio?
Yes, new Freshio, a good source of vitamins A, B6, B12, D, and zinc that keeps you active and refreshed.
Listen, you jogging? Since when?
New Freshio, nutritious goodness every day.
For 5 whole years, New Watson Doors Industries Limited have designed and built durable, strong, artistic, and reliable modern doors for your homes, offices, business complexes, schools, and many more building projects across the length and breadth of Nigeria, working with a large and ever-growing network of loyal and dedicated customers, distributors, and partners nationwide. Thank you for 5 years of quality business relationship. New Watson Doors Industries is 5. Happy anniversary.
Experience the opulence and security of Swiss Trade Doors. With over 30 years experience, exclusive with a touch of history and craftsmanship. Swiss Trade Doors are made from the finest ancient aga and ivory wood. A range of exclusive armored doors, elegant interior doors, carefully crafted by world-renowned architects and engineers. At Swiss Trade, a door is much more. Plus, premium quality onyx stones and luxury interiors. Visit Swiss Trade today or call now. Swiss Trade, blend of beauty and security.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. A former Ministry of State for Education, Mr. Chukwuemeka has been speaking with us on the program about his presidential ambition. Let's wrap up now, and it's on this note that I'd like to wrap up. There are different considerations that are being debated within your party as to who does the cap fit, who gets the ticket of the APC. You are of the CPC stock of the APC, the defunct CPC, one of the parties that came together to form the APC, which President Buhari also belongs. There are those who argue that a consideration will be for a presidential candidate of the APC from another stock, not from the CPC, whether from the ACN or from the new PDP. What do you make of that argument? It doesn't favor you.
Sheung, again, we've gone past all of this talk. We've now made a soup. You know, when women cook, or me as a man, when I cook, I take the stock and I add every other thing. So everybody has come from different stock. CPC, ACN. We came to make a congress. It's a big pot. It's now able to accommodate even those who were not part of any of these formations. And this is the essence of a political party. So those formations are not really what is at play. What is at play is, where does the nation go next? Where do we want to lead 200 million people to? 72% of them are below 50, meaning that it is a generation now issue. So how do we regenerate Nigeria? How do we regenerate it? You can't continue doing the same things and, expect a different result.
You're confident of getting the party's ticket?
My confidence is that the party will do the right thing. There's nobody I've seen now.
What is the right thing?
The right thing will be to take a qualified person who has the enthusiasm, the energy, the knowledge, and the compassion with which you work for Nigerians.
For those who think that you are very close to the president and you're perhaps a favorite.
Everybody is close to the president.
No, but
the president is the president of Nigeria.
You won an election on the platform of a court party. You left that office.
The president is the president of all Nigerians. The president loves Nigerians.
They think that you are very close to the president and perhaps you're an anointed candidate. Is that true?
Anointing comes from the Lord. If I'm anointed, I'm anointed by God.
And God uses men to...
And the minds of a king are in the hands of God. So if God touches the heart of the president, then he will be responding to God, not to me. Because he is also a child of God. If you've met with the president, you will know that he just loves this Nigeria. And it's truly remarkable what he has put himself through. And it is truly remarkable how he has delivered. He's not a talking type. He may not engage.
So he didn't make any promise to you when you went to him?
If you know him, he hardly makes any promises to anybody.
He promised for you to become a minister. You became
He didn't make a promise to me to become a minister.
You've been with him for a long time.
Because in the 20 years I've been with him, and when
so those who say you're a favorite
when Abuba Galadima comes in here, you will remember us as young children who came in 2002. I was a member of the House of Representatives. We were convinced that his integrity, the way he's charting the course for Nigeria, is something that we need to promote. And we stayed with him for the past 20 years trying to get to work. We're looking for a platform to fulfill most of the things we told Nigerians we want to do. We want to change some of the ways Nigeria do things. We want to regrow the economy. We want to make the economy responsive such that Nigerians can have an income. We've done the first part, which is this cash transfer, bring people into the economy. Now it's time to enumerate them.
And you think you are the right man for the job?
I can't find a better person who suits the circumstance. Everybody's qualified. We have great leaders. The Ashiwajus, the Fayemis, the Rochas. Everybody has things that they bring to the table. Lawan, who was my colleague, who is now Speaker of President of the Senate. These are great guys. But Nigeria has different needs at different times. At this point, we need to build national unity and cohesion. Number one. And that's what Chukwuemeka will represent. We need to build national energy around an economic growth. This is what I do, because this is what my systems are. We need to bring this whole gamut of knowledge over 30 years. I can't even find somebody who has contested more elections than me, who has the same political experience within the same bandwidth and barometer right now that is near me. But this is a country. And what we need to do is bring everybody's energies together. And that's why I think everybody is qualified, but the party would need to choose a candidate that represents everybody.
We need to hang it at that point. Well, most sincerely thank you, and I wish you the very best. Mr. Chukwuemeka Onwajuba, former Minister of State for Education, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Sheon. Thank you, Nigerians.
Thank you so much. Now, with bated breath, Nigerians have been monitoring and anticipating the 2023 election. There are fundamental issues here, grabbing headlines every day. A few days ago was a sad scenario of the killing of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto State, overcome and described as blasphemous. The Sokoto State government has since declared a curfew in the state because of the fear of escalation. The Northern Governors Forum, the NGF, has condemned the killing of Deborah Samuel, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, who was killed on allegations of blasphemy. The chairman of the forum, Simon Lalong, and the governor of Plateau State, in a statement, expressed the governor's concern about the development, which was clearly an extrajudicial measure of addressing perceived infractions. Governor Lalong frowned at the adoption of self-help in addressing grievances, whether religious or otherwise, which he observed could only lead to further chaos that could threaten law and order, as well as the general peace and security of the society. Now, tonight, we'll look at that matter, touch on it, get my guests' views on that. But also, the political parties are agitated. They want more time because they feel that the timetable is too choking and tight. But INEC seems to be maintaining a stand. Take a listen to what INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, responded to them.
I hereby reiterate the position of the Commission that there will be no review of the timelines. There are so many interrelated activities that are associated with the timelines which must be carried out. Any review to extend the timelines for one activity will affect other activities and put unnecessary pressure on the political parties and the Commission.
All right, there you have it, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu there. Let's begin our conversation tonight with Mr. Alhaji Buba Galadima. On that note, Alhaji Buba Galadima is a foundation member of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He was the secretary of the defunct CPC, but in 2019, he became one of the spokespersons to the Atiku and PDP campaign organization. This time, he has since camped with the NNPP. Alhaji Buba Galadima joins me live here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheldon.
By our usual protocol, we don't actually allow the usage of such yeah.
I have no problem in putting it
All right, thank you so much. But it's fine. Yeah, thank you so much. We love to see your face clearly.
Thank you very much.
Let me get your view first and foremost on the issue of Deborah Samuel. was Deborah Samuel, the lady that was killed in Sokoto State over comments that was allegedly made by her and described as blasphemy.
Oh. Sorry, Sean. You know, I've been so engrossed in trying to fulfill the words of the INEC national chairman that he will not extend the time on their own program. And we have a new political party just 2 months old. So I had sleepless nights. I didn't even know until now, on the way to this your office, my friend who brought me told me that the Sheun would likely ask you about what had happened in Sokoto. I said, what?
That was like a prophecy, and I did.
I'm telling you. And he's seated there.
So
Michael Olayanju, he's seated there.
So what's your take on it?
I didn't even know. I don't know what had happened. But anything that will put a dark spot on the Nigerian situation is regrettable.
All right. I wouldn't love to take you to a terrain that you have not been following. So let's go into one that you are very much familiar with. I know you're worried about the possibility of extension or the non-possibility of extension of the timetable. IPAC has asked for it. Is it necessary?
Extension
of the timetable, of the date?
Well, it is, because I learned the political parties had asked for it. But the INEC chairman then, at that time, was adamant that he wasn't going to shift grounds. This is why we had to walk round the clock, because there are only 2 political parties in Nigeria today, NNPP and the rest.
NNPP, you said, is the newest party, isn't it?
The winning party.
What gives you that impression?
It is 22 years old, but reinvigorated 2 months ago. And we've sent weavers across the spines of all those that you fear, because they know that our candidate will be the next president of Nigeria, God willing.
Who is that candidate?
We have sold our forms. We have closed the sale of forms. Only one person bought the form to become president. So he is unopposed, the only candidate in Nigeria who is sure that he's going to be on the ballot come March 2023.
And who is that?
Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the only politician in Nigeria, the only one that has got the CV that nobody has gotten among all the flock that are running across in the country. He was Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. He was a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was a Defense Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was Ambassador Plenipotentiary. He was Governor of Kano for 8 years. No Nigerian today has got that qualification. And he has a pedigree of performance while in public office that is not rivaled by any human being on the sands of the Nigerian territory.
I've come to realize in very short time that I've lived my life, that I'm living my life right now, that CV sometimes is not commensurate to performance. You may have a very deep profile.
Thank you very much, Shehu.
But it doesn't mean that...
Can I dash you money for asking me this question?
I will be, if you bring it, I'll collect it. You're an elderly man. Why should I be shy from collecting?
It's okay. So you are right. You know, we told the people, we tried tribe. We tried where somebody came from. We tried religion. Nigeria is still where it is. So why don't we try performance while in public or private office? And they said today, all those that have been mentioned, none of them has got 1% of the performances of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as a public servant while sitting on a public chair.
But,
and don't, please, keep quiet.
Go ahead.
There is nobody in this country today as governor that has given priority to education like Kwankwaso did. He built 11,000 classroom and elementary schools in 4 years when he was the governor of Kano State. And he gave 1 meal to each of those students per day. He built 88 secondary schools in 4 years. I built one of them in Takai, 560 bed, complete building. He built 4 colleges of education to upgrade Kano teachers. He built 6 polytechnics to mop up all the products of the technical school so that he teaches them skill. He mopped up all the bad boys from the street in Kano and rehabilitated them by establishing a reformatory school, taught them skill, gave them startup capital, monitored the startup capital given to them. Today, they are not only useful to themselves, they are not only useful to their family, but they are useful to the people of Kano. Sheun, today, Kano is supposed to be the most volatile state in Nigeria, but it is now the most peaceful. Somebody has done the work, somebody has put the foundation to do that. Kwankwaso has sent 2,600 Kano residents, not indigens, because I can call you your sister now, if you doubt me, gave them scholarship and sent them to 14 countries of the world. They graduated. After leaving public office, he sponsored 370 postgraduate students. They came back. He sponsored 60 PhD students, of which he was one. He has just gotten his PhD in water engineering. None of these aspirants can boast of that. Kwankwaso built 320-bed hostels in 13 universities of Nigeria outside Kano, 6 in the south, 7 in the north. Kwankwaso established a Mewari University on your way to Kefi in Masaka, where he gave scholarship to 4 students from every state of the federation, 2 girls, 2 women. Kwankwaso has provided a free education, no tuition, free tuition, free accommodation, and free clothing.
So in your own estimation,
is there anybody?
Kwankwaso for you is a candidate.
It's for you
that Nigeria needs. That's what you say.
It's not.
But the question here,
it's not for me. I'm gone now. I'm 70. What do I need from him?
The question here is whether or not your party, NNPP, has the political structure to win an election.
Sheun, I think you are losing your brain somehow. You don't know me. I only need 3 months to establish party and win presidential election. If there is a free, fair, and transparent election, that is my field. Like you, I would want you always to interview me because I know you can pierce.
Alhaji Galadima. So in few months, you will establish structure across this country?
2 months. We took the party. The party was taken on the 1st of March this year. And INEC said that every political party must do congresses and establish structures before the 31st of March. We have to give INEC notice to start. Within 14 days, on March 29, we concluded world congresses, local government congresses, state congresses, zonal congresses, and national convention. The one that was attended more than any political party with government in Nigeria had done. We brought together.
I've interviewed you speak as an APC chieftain.
Yes.
I've interviewed you speak as a PDP chieftain.
Yes.
Now you're speaking as NNPP chieftain.
Yes.
How can Nigerians trust or believe what you say now. You've told Nigerians that APC was the game changer. You told Nigerians that they should believe in PDP and Atiku. Now you are selling Kwankwaso. Why should Nigerians believe you?
That is not the issue. The most honorable Nigerian is the person when wrong. He will admit he is wrong and apologize to the nation and move on.
Have you been 2 times wrong now?
No, I've never been 2 times wrong. I told the world that Buhari wasn't the person later because I discovered that. You know that. And on Atiku, I supported Atiku because I thought any other Nigerian was better than Buhari. Not because I supported Atiku, we had an alliance. Kwankwaso is the man. He is going to be the president of Nigeria. Because these two parties, let me tell you, they will crumble into pieces. It's like prophecy. Whenever I speak...
So you didn't see this in 2019 when Kwankwaso ran against Atiku?
Hold
on now. Did you see that? Did you see?
You say what?
Did you see the quality in Kwankwaso?
It's because I supported Kwankwaso. Atiku won the primaries. It's a good person. If Kwankwaso had won the primaries, shouldn't we expect Atiku to support him? I'm asking you.
What do you make of the agitation that zoning should be considered correctly?
Please. We have tried, I said, we have tried where somebody comes from. That is zoning. We've tried religion. We've tried which tribe, whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Bade, or Kanuri, or Nupe. We have tried all that. It didn't work for Nigeria. Why can't we try somebody with a pedigree of performance, somebody with a large heart that can give scholarship to all manner of people resident in his administrative jurisdiction? Why can't we look at somebody who has a large heart to accommodate everybody that was under his care as a leader? This is what we didn't have. Record of performance. You didn't allow me to speak 1% of Kwankwaso's performance in public office. And if there is any Nigeria...
Because you're already campaigning and you have
I'm not campaigning, please.
You have not paid for the campaign and yet it's not time for campaign.
I'm putting the facts before Nigerians.
Yes, but again...
And if there is any Nigerian who believes that he has anybody among the charlatans running as president, and he can be compared to Kwankwaso, let him write you and tell us what has the man do.
Is it fair to describe those people that have come as charlatans?
Because look at what the APC is trying to bring. Revolution.
How do you mean?
My grandmother, before her death, she never saw 5 pounds in her lifetime. My mother, before her death, she never saw 100 pounds. In fact, when I was a child, when the tax collectors come, 7 shillings, people ran away and relocated. Some 100 million. Do the APC believe in the common man? Do you have a chance? Can you contest if I like you to be president? Raise your head and look at me. Can you run?
I'm looking at you.
Can you run? Do you have 100 million to give? So they are disenfranchising you as Nigerian. They are causing revolution. Where did they get the money from? Where are their parents' farms? Where they collected the money from? They want us to be killed by the masses who cannot afford 1 meal per day. And they steal our money and flashing on our face that, of course, we stole your money, we are buying ticket to run for presidency, 100 million. What can you do? That's the message they are sending.
In 30 seconds.
Which seconds?
No, because we need to close. In 30 seconds.
No, you are not serious.
Alhaji Galadima.
You can as well leave me. When you get proper time, you call me, we discuss.
Alhaji Galadima.
No.
You're a very good friend, but you're a very notorious one at that. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, but in 30 seconds, why do you think that Nigerians should trust NNPP differently?
Because we have done everything under the sun to make it work. It didn't work. Now we have somebody with a pedigree of performance, somebody with a foresight that can take us to the promised land. Why not him? The issue is not shown. If the Queen will colonize Nigeria again and allow me go to Kaduna freely, let it be. Can you now go to Kasina and tell the person that Buhari is going a 3rd term? They will chop off your head. Is he not from Kasina? Are they not all Muslims? Are they not all Hausa or Fulani? Why? Look, you pressmen.
Alhaji Buba Galadima, children of the NNPP, thank you so much for coming tonight. We still need to
you are not fair to me.
I'm very, very fair to you.
No.
Alhaji Galadima.
Please don't call me if you don't have a minimum of 1 hour again for me to discuss my country.
We will find that time for you. Thank you so much. My very good friend, Alhaji Galadima. Thank you so much for coming tonight. That's how we leave it tonight, everyone. My very, very elderly, very good friend, Alhaji Galadima, right here. That's our show for today. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.